As crazy as it might sound, this is something that I've been wanting to talk to you guys about for a little bit of time now. And if you are on my Facebook or my Twitter or anything like that, you have probably seen me mention this topic over and over and over again. And it's to do with the way that the gays are treated in Uganda. Isn't that great? What we actually think a couple of years ago was just a bit of a joke because of the way that it was worded and everything like that. The Kill the Gays bill has recently been signed in Uganda. This isn't new news. This has been, about 3 months ago now? 2 or 3 months ago now in Uganda. And this bill was signed in, basically outlawing it for you to be gay in Uganda. More on than that, it is also against the law. You can face punishment yourself if you are a person who knows of a suspected homosexual and you do not turn them into the police or the army or some government official or anything like that. These people who are suspected of being homosexual, they can then face up to life imprisonment. And I'm not really over exaggerating when I tell you about this, but these people are often found that aren't really turn into the police. In quite a few cases would be, let's see, for example, set on fire, hung, be tortured to the brink of death and then just left to bleed to death. They face however many hours of persecution. They feel unsafe to actually walk out on the streets. And this is the reality for them people. As I said to you a minute ago, this isn't new news, and you can tell because the West has started to react to this about time. When the law got signed in, there's been several countries that actually give money to places like Uganda. And a couple of them have now turned around and said, we're not giving you a single penny more until you reverse this law. Now, there is something that is connected with that is also quite disturbing. The fact is, this money that gets sent into the country is, well, probably mainly kept within the government, but a lot of aid agencies have been talking out and saying, you are punishing the whole country, everyone's going to suffer because of this and everything like that. Let me just explain something to you for one single moment. On this pack of cigarettes, there is, let me try and get this right, I think there's £3 something in tax that gets paid. I don't want a single penny of that tax going to a country that persecutes its people based on something that isn't a choice. That is disgraceful. That's going back to the old days where we used to persecute people based on the colour of their skin. Does anyone remember that slave labour shit happening? Yeah, we did that because of the colour of these people's skin. These days, similar things are allowed to happen because of a sexuality. It's not something that you can choose, it's not something that you can help or anything like that. And yet, it's kind of deemed as acceptable. Why? There was a video put up not that long ago by some YouTubers that I absolutely love, and they explained about one man in particular.
Hey YouTube, Scott Lively. He's one of a handful of people who, if you don't know your anti-LGBT arch-nemesis, you should. He's responsible for a lot of anti-LGBT legislation that's being passed around the world. Just think of the situation in Uganda in the Kill the Gays bill, which is how he got to be most famous. So you take a situation where there's already a high religious culture, and you need somebody to be a scapegoat. You've got sort of dry grass. What Scott Lively does is walk in, strike a match, and throw it right on that dry grass and watch it burn. He went into Kampala, gave a speech amongst a bunch of politicians that scared the pants off of them. Not long after that, we had the Kill the Gays bill, which has now finally been implemented, and people are being rounded up and thrown in prison. At the time, he thought that they had gone too far. Now he applauds them for their actions and says that the gay movement brought it on themselves.
That man is one of the ones who is behind Uganda's Kill the Gays bill. That's right, this isn't to do with Ugandan people. This is to do with these Christians. You know the ones like in the news the other day, the Christian school that kicked the little girl out of school because she had her hair cut short? Yeah, them Christians. And so they travelled over to Uganda and they basically put their hate out there. And you know what? Uganda was kind of stupid enough to buy it. Not only that, but of course these people go over, they start spreading these rumours and everything like this, and I'm about to show you a clip which I find disturbing, and I will explain it in full to you in just a moment. So if you are of a nervous disposition or hungover or anything like that, don't watch this next part. A lot of people are watching this online and they say that this is funny. The truth of the matter is, this isn't anything to laugh at.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pastor Dr. Martin Semper. I'm here in the capacity as the chairman of the National Task Force Against Homosexuality in Uganda. We are making legislation to make sure that sodomy and homosexuality never sees the light of legality in this land of the Pearl of Africa. I've taken time to do a little research to know what homosexuals do in the privacy of their bedroom. One of the things they do is called anal leaking, where a man's anus is leaked like this by the other person, like ice cream. And then what happens, even poo-poo comes out. The other one poo-poo's out, and then they eat the poo-poo. The other one they do is they have a sex practice called fisting, where they insert their hand into the other man's hand, and it goes into the anus all the way. And it is so painful, they have to take drugs, but they enjoy it. Now, if we have any children, please step out. This is a parental guidance moment. That child can be moved out. So I've done research. This is what they do. Number one, you can see a man here having sucked the other person's rectum, and the other person is poo-pooing, and this one is eating the poo-poo all over the place. Tell me, when you have a law against homosexuality, do you say except eating poo-poo? I mean, look at this guy sincerely. Bishop. Stagafulaizaha. Hajat. We do not want this sickness. This is sick and it's therefore deviant. We do not want it. Now, they start off by touching each other's genitals and smelling each other. Then this one smears the poo-poo all over the other person's face. As if that is not enough, he puts the hand deeper. As Africans, we want to ask Barack Obama to explain to us, is this what he wants to bring to Africa as a human right, to eat the poo-poo of our children?
You've probably heard of that video, the gays eat the poo-poo. There is a kind of a comedy element to it, because we're sat in the West, in these cultures where we just accept, you know, homosexuality. So let me clear a few things up for you from that video. The thing of licking the anus isn't actually too much of a bad thing. Like, I don't complain. That act is called rimming. And rimming is not exclusive to the gay community. I know of quite a few straight people that do it, both men and women. So that's not really just a gay thing. The next part that he goes on to, which I don't really know how he's quite gotten onto this from rimming. I guess it could happen, but you would have to be with someone who's kind of got really loose morals as well as loose bowels. But he then speaks about the poo-poo coming out, and how a person would eat that and they smear it all over them and everything like that. That is called scat. I don't really know where the term has arrived from. It's been in porn now for a number of years, actually. Scat is basically, fecal matter, and you smear it on, use it as lubricant. I don't really know. It's not something that I practice or am too keen on practicing, I'll be honest with you there. But again, this isn't a thing that is exclusive to the gay community of any sort, you know, male and male, female, female. It's not exclusive. It is an act that is carried out in straight porn as well. And a lot of straight people practice it. Well, not a lot of straight people practice it, but you know what I mean. There are straight people out there that practice it as well as gay people. So again, They are trying to describe to you this disgusting act, to really build up like, oh, that is sickening. What they miss out is all of the other stuff that gays do. Let me explain that to you for a little moment. Okay, so what do gays actually do? If a person in Uganda is asking me, well, if you don't eat the fecal matter, what do you do? Okay, well, you got the simple thing of blowjobs. Now, blowjobs have actually been brought up when the Kill the Gays bill was being signed in. Blowjobs were mentioned because do we refer to him as the Prime Minister? I think it's Prime Minister. This good luck, whatever his name is, a fucking weirdo. He mentioned about blowjobs, and he said that the human mouth wasn't engineered to be doing such a thing. Well, clearly, if we're referring to straight sex, clearly the human body was not also designed for a tongue to go up a vagina. Just, putting that out there for a second. And also, does that mean that in Uganda, kind of ever since we developed into human beings, does that just mean that these people have literally just been kind of, doing it for a couple of minutes, like full-on penetrative intercourse? Have they just been doing that, and maybe the odd kiss here and there, but that's about it for romance, whoever said it was dead. Apparently in Uganda it was never alive. There is other stuff that gay people do, frankly, and I'm not going to go into it because this isn't one of them videos. But you see where I'm coming from here. The thing is to try and teach these people about the really disgusting things and say it is the gay community that do this. Bullshit, it's really not. You haven't actually named anything that is exclusive to the gay community. And as a gay man myself, I actually can't really think of anything that is just exclusive to the gay community. Everything that I practice as a gay man when I'm in bed is also practiced by straight people. And how do I know this? Because they're dumb enough to tell me. Now, I'm not dumb enough to tell you because I do keep hold of my secrets here, but there isn't anything that is exclusive to the gay community as far as I know. Maybe you watching this know of something that is exclusive. Don't know. But these people that go to these services are kind of led on because he introduces himself at the beginning of that video as a doctor. Is there any paperwork that is available to prove that he is a doctor? I don't actually think that there is, really, is there? The other thing is that you might have noticed a sign behind the fella that says Barack Obama back off. Hilarious for him to use that because I will often just stand there and just, tell people back off. In a really camp way, and it's hilarious when I do it properly, not so much in this video. But Barack Obama hasn't really said to Uganda, you need to accept this. That hasn't happened. So why are they telling Obama that they won't accept it? Just really think Barack Obama gives a shit? Have you seen what's happening with Russia? Just a little bit of a kind of humongous situation that's happening there at the moment. Or there is the threats, that he's got to deal with from North Korea. There is, he's got to keep an eye on the army. He's got to run his own country. I mean, have you seen the size of America? Like, that's not some small shit that can be sorted out in a day. So I'm not really too sure that Barack Obama actually gives a shit personally. I didn't mean that pun to be in there, but I don't think he cares, should I say, too much about what the Ugandan people think. When they sign in bills that is like the Kill the Gays bill that has been brought in, I think that is when he takes issue with this, and I think that is when he turns around and says, enough is enough. And I fully support him in him doing that. I fully support the government in the UK doing it. There's many places in Europe that have spoken out about the Kill the Gays bill in Uganda. There is a really, really good guy for you to follow on Twitter, and for me, he is kind of my reliable feed of information because he's actually there kind of dealing with the situation. I will put a link to his Twitter below. But obviously, because he is in Uganda, if there is no link below, it's because I have removed it because I don't really think that he's too safe there. As for what you can do about Uganda, if you have a little look on Google, there is usually a few petitions that you can go ahead and sign to get your politicians riled up enough to actually go and deal with this thing. If you see the video that I've shown you in this one, where they are saying about the gays and the scat fetish and everything like that, if you see that video, please feel free to comment anywhere that you see that video and just say that this isn't exclusive to the gay community. Pass this video on if you want to. I could do with a couple more video views, but now's really not the time to be getting them, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm just going to finish off the video just by saying this really, really quick. You know, we live in 2014, or this is when it's being recorded. We are supposed to be treating people with equality. We've had things like the slave labour. We moved on from it. The next thing appears to be the gay community, that we can't quite get our head around that. But eventually we will move on from it. And the way that we move on from it is we accept each other, and we just accept, okay, that's what that person does. It's not my cup of tea, but whatever. Let them go and do it. You know? We are human beings, and we are the same people, and it's about time that we acted like it.